Hi everyone. So for my ISP, I decided to do painting, which is something I recently got into as a hobby before this year. And I thought it would be a good topic for my ISP because, first off, I'm not very artistically talented, so I thought it would be a challenge. But I also thought it would be fun to do something that I enjoy and don't know much about, so I could learn more about it. Um, which is why I really was excited to do painting. And I think it turned out super well. I learned a lot. I made some paintings that I'm proud of, and I now know more and have a better skill that I can put to use in my future paintings because I definitely will continue painting after this. As for my ISP specifically, I wanted to have a theme that ran through all of my paintings so that there would be more structure to my project. So I decided to use acrylic as my medium, and I decided to recreate or create paintings that were based off of recreate existing paintings or create paintings that were based off of inspiration photos, so recreate the photos. Um, and all of them were supposed to be landscapes, like either city landscapes or nature. So it could be like skylines or forests or rivers. And I initially wanted to have my final product be a series painting, which would be one painting across 4 separate canvases. But I decided that that was a little bit ambitious. So instead, I wanted to just show y'all my collection of paintings as my final product that I've made throughout this year. Okay, so this right here is the first painting I did. It is the skyline of Dallas. That's what it's supposed to be. And I just want to start off by saying I'm not very artistically talented. Um, but this one, I didn't really know much about, painting techniques or anything, so I just kind of went for it. I'll show you the inspiration photos before I describe the painting more. So this is obviously just a picture of the skyline. This is a painting that I found that I really liked, another painting that I really liked, and then another photo of the skyline. So when I was painting this, I used throughout my whole project, I used just a set of paintbrushes that I had and some older, cheaper acrylic paints because I didn't want to, spend a bunch of money on paints and then, if this project ended up making me hate painting, like it just would have gone to waste, which it did not. So it was kind of hard to use the paint at first. It was like it wouldn't dry the way I wanted, or it would be really streaky, and I didn't really know how to blend the paint well. So I kind of had to learn how to do all of that. And then I also kind of used the same like types of brushes for everything as opposed to kind of switching between brushes that are different sizes and had different uses. So um, it was a bit of a challenging piece to say the least, but I really like the way it turned out, and I think if I tried to recreate this now, it would definitely turn out a lot better. But I enjoyed this one, and then the second painting I did is this. It's supposed to be like a sunset river, and this one I actually um, used a video to help guide me um, through creating the painting. Here is what the one I replicated is supposed to look like, and this is mine again. And during this painting, I actually learned a very helpful technique called washing, which is where you basically mix water into your paints to dilute the color and bring it down. And this is kind of, I personally found it easier than trying to blend white paint into it. I like the way that it turned out. Oh, oops. That the blue turned out better than if I had just blended white paint into it, because that would just kind of lighten the color, but it wouldn't have the same textural effect, for lack of a better word. Um, and then this right here is the third painting I did, which, as you can see, is a lot more detailed than the last painting and the one before that. in fact. And this one, here's the original painting. This one was also from a video, which I used kind of as a guide. I really enjoyed doing this one. I love the way it turned out. Um, Especially with all of the small details. They were kind of difficult to do because I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of patience. I definitely had to learn patience while doing this because I had to wait for things to dry, I had to paint over them. It definitely took a lot of time, a lot more time than I was expecting to do all of the paintings, not just this one, but this one especially took probably upwards of 6 hours. Um, but I liked doing all the little details, and I definitely learned how to use different paint strokes and blend the paint better. Um, so that turned out better than I expected. And then this right here was the fourth painting I did, which I don't know if some of y'all might recognize this, but it's Mario Circuit from Mario Kart. I don't know, I just really enjoyed Mario Kart, so I thought it would be a nice little uh, subject for painting, which still fits the theme. It's kind of a landscape. Um, so I spent a lot of time on this one too. There's a lot of small details in it, like the stars, the road, the castle, and the houses. All had a lot of tiny little parts that I had to do. So this one took me a lot longer than I was expecting as well. And I added my own kind of twist to it. I added the little piranha plants and left out some details that were more difficult to make. And I like the way it turned out, especially because it took so much time and effort to do this painting. But it's definitely one of my favorites that I've ever done. And then this is the last painting that I did. It's a little forest. I wanted to do something that was just plain nature, nothing else. And I just thought a forest would be nice. Here is the original painting. And initially, I just did the trees and the hills in the background, and I really liked the way it turned out. And then I added more details, and I felt like I ruined it almost. And so I didn't know what to do. I was like, do I add more paint? Do I change things? Do I paint over it and start over? Especially at the bottom, all around here. I don't know if you can see that, but when I added the dirt, I felt like I had ruined it. But I painted more shrubs and stuff, and that kind of made me realize that like um, both not to overdo it, but also not to be discouraged by if something doesn't turn out the way I want it to, because I love the way it looks now. I also, for some reason, didn't have a dark green bottle of paint, so I had to mix colors like over and over again to get the desired shade of green. It took so long. Um, and also in this one, I kind of used lighter and darker colors to add more dimension. I know that's a thing that a lot of artists do, but I, as a newbie, hadn't really tried to do that before. But in the rocks, I tried to make them have more dimension and change the lighting a little bit. So those are all of the paintings I did. They took quite a while, even if they may not look it. And I was really proud of how everything turned out. So that was my ISP. I hope y'all enjoyed looking at my paintings. I definitely had a lot of fun and learned more than I expected about both painting and about, you know, patience and perseverance and whatnot throughout my ISP. I definitely will continue painting, and I hope y'all enjoyed watching. And I'm excited to watch all the rest of y'all's videos and see what you all did for your ISPs. Thank you. Bye.